We're taking on Disney World's longest lines.
So we are not backing down.
We've got 4 of the highest weight rides at Disney World on our list today. The goal, ride them all and find out if the lines are as crazy as they seem.
Let's go.
We're in our first park of the day, Magic Kingdom, and we're headed to the highest wait time. Now, in the past, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, really it reigned supreme as the highest wait time in Magic Kingdom. But recently, Tron Lightcycle Run has moved away from their virtual queue system to a normal standby line. This has done a couple things. It's made it much easier to ride Tron. However, it has also made Tron the highest wait time. I was just checking the wait times to confirm that, and a little bit after rope drop, it's about 10:20. Tron sits at a 105-minute wait, where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, again, which used to be the highest wait time in Magic Kingdom, is only at 75. Now, don't get me wrong, 75 is still a very long wait. We're headed into Tron Lightcycle Run to see how long these wait times actually are. And as well, we're going to talk about some things so you can hopefully avoid these crazy wait times.
All right, for my first attraction, I am at Hollywood Studios, specifically in Toy Story Land, because we are attempting to ride Slinky Dog Dash, arguably the most popular attraction here. At all times of the day, you can see pretty extreme wait times, and given the fact that there's a cast member outside of the initial queue with a sign that shows it's going to be a long wait, 80 minutes. 80 minutes, and that's kind of average. The posted time is 70, but with this sign, 80 seems accurate. My one thing about the Slinky Dog Dash queue and why it's particularly my least favorite and the least favorite of many others is that it's mainly outside. So the sun really hits you. If it's a warm day, you're not feeling it. Thankfully today's chilly, so I don't mind it. But on an average summer day, it is a tough queue to stay in. And again, it has a high wait time, so imagine being in the sun cooking for a very long time. Not ideal, not ideal.
So Tron Lightcycle Run is the newest coaster attraction here at the Magic Kingdom. A nice little copy and paste from our friends over at Shanghai Disney. Click. Obviously inspired by the franchise Tron. You're in a seated bike position. There's a really cool launch. It goes outdoors and then indoors, so very cool. However, a very short ride, which kind of lessens it in my favorite coaster category. Now, this was a 105-minute wait, and waiting in line can be hard, especially for people who are trying to optimize everything in their day. They're trying to do the most. Or for people who just hate being bored. And that's me. Now, Disney typically does a really good job with making the queues, the lines, really themed and cool stuff to look at. Some are even interactive, like the Peter Pan queue, the Winnie the Pooh queue. An interactive queue is awesome because it gives you something to do in line. And something like this at 105 minutes, there's not a lot to look at. You're basically outside, and then you're in a tent, and then you're in a dark room with blue lights for a while. It's not ideal.
High wait times are usually expected when you're coming to Disney World, but it doesn't make it any easier to deal with. However, there are some ways to make it feel less daunting. You can download the free Play Disney app. It's available on the App Store, so it's not the My Disney experience, but it is still free, the Play Disney app. And there's some fun games created for specific queues. For instance, Slinky Dog Dash has one, which also makes me wonder, what was it like in the 80s and 90s when someone came by themselves and they didn't have anyone to talk to? How do you spend the time if you didn't have a phone to stare at? And I mean that I'm actually curious in a nice way, not I'm criticizing it. I just wonder. I'm trying to distract myself. But anyway, if you have a phone, you can download the Play Disney app. You can also download other games like Heads Up. That's always so much fun to play if you're with a group or somebody else. It's kind of like charades, and you put it on your head, and that's the most common game that I see played in lines all the time. And time goes by like that. Sometimes I'll be playing with friends and I'm already getting ready to board. I'm like, no, we're still playing. So great way to distract. Another fun way is to go ahead and plan the rest of your day. If you haven't already, make those table service reservations for those restaurants that don't get booked up so quickly beforehand. I also love perusing the menus and deciding what I'm gonna eat, what's the app, what's the entree, what's the dessert. I have a lot of fun planning stuff.
I know you're waiting to find out how long I was actually in line, and I'll get there. But first, let me tell you about some of the other really long lines here at the Magic Kingdom. Some of the other attractions that you're definitely going to want to look out for are Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, a family-style coaster based on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Peter Pan's Flight, a slow-moving dark ride. You're basically flying off to Neverland with Peter Pan, Wendy, John, Michael, the Darlings. The Jungle Cruise, a slow-moving boat ride with not real animals, they're fake. They're fake animals, but it's a long line. Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the newest attraction here at Magic Kingdom. It's a re-theme from Splash Mountain, but it's based on Princess and the Frog. Lots of fun, but they recently just did away with the virtual queue for Tiana's as well. So that has a pretty long line, so you're gonna watch out for that as well. And I'm gonna throw a special one in there. This is a Sage hot take because I always want to ride this ride, but the line is too long. Recently, and let's be clear, I am here in the middle of spring break. It is a Wednesday. It is a Tuesday on spring break week. It's very busy, but I will say one of my favorite rides is Winnie the Pooh, and that is starting to feel a little bit like a Peter Pan's Flight scenario where the wait times are getting really high for that. In fact, Winnie the Pooh is starting to be one of the lightning lanes that start to be one of the first to go away.
If you're saying to yourself, oh man, long wait times are not my thing, that's okay, bestie, totally respect that. There are ways for you to avoid long wait times, even an 80-minute line for Slinky Dog Dash, and that is if Disney's pay to skip the line service, Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, and Lightning Lane Single Pass. With Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, you can select up to 3 attractions beforehand. That is 3 days without a Disney Resort hotel reservation, 7 days with a Disney hotel resort reservation, and for most parks except Animal Kingdom, they come in tiers. For other attractions such as Rise of the Resistance or Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, you're going to need to purchase the Lightning Lane Single Pass. Can get a little pricey because the prices fluctuate depending on the day and the season, but if time is of the essence during your trip and there's so many things that you want to do during your park day, honestly, it'd be a great tool to have, a great extra to purchase, and it just depends on what you're looking for on your trip. If you don't mind long waits, then you're chill. But if you're like, no, I can't wait that long, that's okay, you can still enjoy your trip. Those are add-ons that you can purchase.
I waited 1 hour and 25 minutes and 47 seconds, and 0.49 to be exact. Now typically Disney does stop the posted wait time when it gets to the section where Lightning Lane and Standby typically merge together, or the pre-show. But for the purposes of this experiment, we stopped our clocks right before we got on the ride. So after we were divvied up into specific rows, I stopped my clock, and it was 1 hour and 25 minutes, which is not 105 minutes. So we're looking around 85 minutes, so that's, I would say, significantly less than 105 minutes. Still not great. I will say long lines make good rides not as good. It's a weird science thing, but we'll talk about that over and over.
All right, friends, we have made it to the step before boarding the attraction, and it took a total of 55 minutes to get here. So, not 80, which I was expecting it to be 80. That's amazing. 55 is not that bad for Slinky Dog Dash, to be honest. Aside from Slinky Dog Dash, you can also catch Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Rise of Resistance, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at long standby wait times. Yes, that's pretty much like half of the attractions offered here at Hollywood Studios, but it's because they're all pretty great and very popular. Now, I am heading out of Hollywood Studios, and we'll meet y'all at Animal Kingdom for their longest wait time attraction. Can you guess what it is? I bet you can. I bet you absolutely can, but anyways, I'll see you guys over there.
And now it's time for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. That's another coaster attraction here in Epcot. I like to call it a mashup. It's a mashup of other coasters. I'm thinking of Rock and Roller Coaster because it plays music, and also you never know which song you're gonna get. There are 6 different songs, but it could be different every time. I'm thinking Space Mountain because if it's like outer space. And finally, I'm thinking Escape from Gringotts over at Universal because of the ride vehicle that turns 360 degrees. But it's a lot of fun. It is definitely on my top 3 coasters in the Florida area, Central Florida, maybe in the States. Now, when I scanned into the park, it was a 75-minute wait when I checked the My Disney Experience app, which, by the way, if you haven't downloaded the My Disney Experience app, that is a fantastic way to keep track of different times throughout the park, as well as, book your lightning lanes.
And we have traveled to Pandora here at Disney's Animal Kingdom because I'm taking on Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage, since its debut, has been the most popular attraction here in Animal Kingdom, and with reason. It is a flight simulator that takes you aboard the back of a Banshee. Yes, you get to ride your very own Banshee, and you get to glide through Pandora, the beautiful rainforest, all of its beauty and nature. It is thrilling, it is fun, and it is so immersive. It's incredible. I'm excited. However, I'm not excited for the wait times. The My Disney Experience app is great for catching those wait times. While you're in line for another ride, you can check to see if a wait time has lowered and you want to ride that attraction. You could plan out your day that way. Great to plan out and see kind of the peaks and lows of the attraction wait times. Even when you're not at the park, I love to do it when I'm at home and kind of study and be like, well, if I was at Disney right now, I would do this ride and this ride. And also it's great to kind of keep in mind for when you do come to Disney World. You checked the app every day and you saw that, let's say at 5 o'clock, the ride dipped down to a 45. It's great for planning. Ooh, the line is outside the door. Oh wow, 80 minutes exact. Okay. I've seen it at 100 minutes sometimes, and currently we're at a high peak time for Disney World guests to come and visit. So, they wanted to make me look like a fool. It literally changed right now to 95 minutes. Someone did me dirty.
I like to say come as prepared as possible because you are going to be waiting in some pretty long lines, whether you have Lightning Lane or not, because sometimes I listen to podcasts. A big thing that I do is I work in line just because I'm here. But that's when I check comments. I actually check comments in lines that you're reading. And I'm just going to say this. If you haven't seen our 100 rides in 24 hours video, you should watch that. But I was looking at the comments, and someone was like, wow, I didn't know Sage played so many roles. He doesn't look that old. What? Hey, I'm not old. I was just young and talented. But trust me, if you're like me, you don't want to wait in any lines. And, well, there are ways to avoid that. And here's some of the ways. Having a good rope drop strategy. Rope drop just basically means park opening. Back in the day, cast members used to hold a rope so nobody could get past, and then when there was time for the park to open, they would drop the rope dropping, and then the guests would enter the park and have their magical day. It just means park opening. But having a good rope drop strategy is important. What is a good rope drop strategy? Typically, the first 2 hours of park opening is when the longest lines are going to be the shortest. So that's when you're going to want to do those must-do attractions without maybe having to pay all that money for you and whoever's with you in your party, without having to pay for like lightning lanes, and single pass, and multi-pass, and premier pass, and all the things.
Aside from Flight of Passage here at Animal Kingdom, you could expect long wait times for Navi River Journey, which is also located here at Pandora, as well as Expedition Everest, the roller coaster that takes you on a wacky, wild, oh my goodness, train ride through Mount Everest, where you encounter a Yeti. So Animal Kingdom doesn't have a lot of attractions currently available. That will change soon once Tropical Americas comes to the park, and as well as once Zootopia Better Together finds their time to shine inside of the Tree of Life Theater, where Bug's Life, it's up to be a bug, was or used to be.
And I will say skipping the lines as much as you can might be a little important. Let's talk about some science, actual science. Sometimes long waits make the really good ride not as good. Let me tell you why. Because when you ride exciting things, it gives you like an adrenaline rush. Those endorphins start going. And when you have to then take a long break for, let's say, you wait in an 80-minute line, those endorphins, all of a sudden they start to die down again. And then when you ride the ride, they have to amp back up. But imagine if you were able to go from ride to ride to ride, then you're keeping those endorphins up, you're keeping that adrenaline up. It's like you're riding this constant high of I'm having a great time, this is so much fun. You're not having to kind of come down from that and go, well, now I gotta wait in this line again. That's science, baby. Now, there is another camp that says, no, I like to wait in lines because that means I'm like working for it, and it makes the ride so much more worth it when I do it. And to those people, I say boo. Boo. I'm kidding. It's not a personal thing, it's just a preference thing. But hey, let me know, are you in camp work for it, or are you in camp adrenaline rush?
So, just got off of Flight of Passage, such an incredible attraction. No matter how many times I ride it, I still feel absolutely emotional and so immersed. It's amazing. But the wait time was accurate, 95 minutes. It was right. And the thing is, unlike Slinky Dog Dash, the boarding process of this attraction is quite lengthy because it's an experience that takes that time, and they can't keep boarding people on it until that experience has ended. So that typically is why Flight of Passage, the wait time posted, is usually very, very accurate. Unlike Slinky Dog Dash, because they have the Slinky Dog vehicle that they just board people, vehicle goes, another vehicle comes, they can board it, all that good stuff. But we did it! We rode Flight of Passage 95 minutes.
Yes, I know, I keep stretching it out, but I promise I'll tell you how long I waited in line. Remember, I said it was 80 minutes. The posted wait time was 80 minutes. I waited 1 hour and 10 minutes. But again, for the purposes of this experiment, I stopped the timer right when I got to my actual ride vehicle. And this is approximately 10 minutes less than what it said I was going to wait, so not too bad. But that's why, have a good rope drop strategy, know what your must-dos are, download your My Disney Experience app to keep track of those wait times, and hey, have fun, do your best, right? You're at a theme park, live a little, enjoy yourself.
If you're still here, make sure to like this video and add the secret code in the comments so we know that you've made it all the way.
And if you're new here, subscribe for tips, games, and vlogs from Disney World and beyond 7 days a week, because you know, we're serious about fun.
See you next time, bye!